Hello, everybody. My name is Jacob, and welcome to the Epileptic Gamer Podcast. I know, it's a miracle. You're seeing an episode come out within 2 weeks before the last episode. How fun is that? Now, the fun stuff is out of the way because this is time to get serious. This is a part 2 episode, basically. It's the second part of an episode. Because if you didn't see the part 1, I'm sorry I don't have it listed as part 1. But the part 1 is the gaming landscape episode. Go watch that one or listen to that one, however you want to do it. And if you can, then come back. You'll understand what I'm talking about. But right now we're going to get into the juicy details of it all. Because it goes deep. To the point where in the gaming landscape one, I was talking about game reviews. We're calling out developers now in general. When are we going to start holding these people accountable? If you want to go to the best point of action, let's talk about this recently. Redfall, Microsoft. It was billed as a great game. Came out disappointing. Star Wars, Jedi Survivor. I mean, yeah, great game. PS5. PC, not so much. Someone with the top rig. Top graphics card. Everything. Top of the line. It stutters. Last of Us Part 1 on the PC. It's a port, but granted, it was still shitty nonetheless. It stuttered. It had terrible graphics. You don't believe me? Because I can't show them through audio. Take a look online. Go on YouTube. They'll show you how bad they got. Let's rewind the clock. Cyberpunk 2077 from CD Projekt Red. Ooh, buddy, where do we start on that little chestnut? That's all I'm going to say, because that's a whole episode on itself. Battlefield 2042, I did an episode dedicated to it itself, the very first one. Highly suggest go listening to it. You can see how far we've come. It's a nice little evolution from here to there. Now let's continue going. When are we going to start holding these people accountable? It is time. We are seeing so many games get released as a shell. And then they would decide to release a statement. Conveniently like saying, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we know. God forbid we expected a good game that was filled up with fun content. God forbid that happens, you know? Because as a consumer who's paying $70 for a AAA game, I would expect it to be good. God forbid that's a thing, right? Nope, I guess not, because developers don't even give a shit anymore. At least Naughty Dog, and I'll give it to them. Clap of applause to Naughty Dog. Round of applause. I wish I could add it in. I don't have the editing skills for that. I'm sorry. So, gonna give you a little round of applause for Naughty Dog here for straight up saying on Twitter that they have multiple projects in the work and they apologize for not showing them at the most recent PlayStation showcase. Good on them. Naughty Dog took accountability. They said, we're sorry that we let our fans down. We will do better. We will make sure it is at a good, playable state when we can see it. Insomniac Games. They showed everything off to perfection. To perfection. Good for them. That's how you deal with it right. You want to show how you deal with it wrong? Electronic Arts. EA Sports. Let's get started on them because it was so bad, FIFA pulled the license for soccer. That's right, FIFA 23, there ain't going to be no FIFA 24. It's now EA Football. I'm sorry, EA Soccer or Football, however you want to say it. I'm going to call it soccer because I'm American. I'm sorry, that's how it is. Hell, we're going to go so far as this is a do or die time for Madden because they are having the balls to release an NCAA game. if we're going to talk about NCAA down the line, which that is, and I promised you that will be an episode, don't know when, but that's an episode coming up. That if they're doing that, they better hurry about what they're going to do with football, because wow, Madden is on deep shit, which is just a $70 roster update. If I really wanted to, I could spend all day making the new people. That's all I could do. I could just move a few people out. Granted, the team names might be the same, but if I were to look at Madden 22 and Madden 23, you were to tell me Madden 22 was Madden 23, I'd believe you. There is absolutely nothing different. Nothing I could think of that would set it apart. Now, let's go to NHL. NHL has a severe track record. It's not good, but it's not bad. It's in that near middle ground where they are willing to touch it, but only to a point where something noticeably is different. Be a Pro got the most recent addition. You can add in a 32nd team or 33rd team, depending on which game you have. If it's pre-Seattle, you can add in a 32nd team. Post-Seattle expansion draft, 33rd team. That's a fun idea. I like it. I think it's a cool thing to do. So applause on them for at least adapting. Now, what about Ultimate Team? If you don't want to believe me now, take a look. EA Sports reported that they made over $1 billion on Ultimate Team alone. That's not game sales. Just Ultimate Team. $1 billion. And we wonder why we get the same games. We're giving them $1 billion? No. Why are we doing that? Why are we spending our hard-earned money? Which, granted, it's your money. You can do with it what you will. But if FIFA has the balls to pull the license, and good on them, that's a wake-up call for EA. That goes to show that they don't want to be associated with them anymore. That's how bad that is. And, oh, buddy, don't even get me started with women's hockey, because they only just got the rights to that last year. So, then they go out and say, oh, we all like golf. We like 2K PGA Tour. Let's release that. So now, if you go to the PlayStation Store, type in EA Sports PGA Tour, they have a golf game now. Because they want to capitalize on that market. Don't know how the sales are doing, but I can only imagine since it's golf, it's good. I'm sure some people are playing it. Personally, I like PGA Tour better, the original one. But, hey, that's just me. I refuse to give EA any of my money at this point, until they can show that they are doing better. I've read several articles on the NCAA podcast, the podcast episode already that we're working on, that apparently it's being built from the ground up. Good. That's a good improvement. It shows that they don't want it to be a carbon copy of Madden. But as we're going to talk about in the NCAA episode, which is coming, I promise you, it's happening. It is going to be a lot to unpack, because there's so much stuff. And when I say a lot of stuff that EA has to focus on. And if they are going to shoot for next year, which is apparently the leaked release date, you better hurry up. That's all I have to say. Now, I'm done with talking NCAA. I don't want to give away too much of that episode. Let's talk about everything else. Because, oh, buddy. If FIFA pulled the license, I can only imagine why they just called it PGA Tour. They probably don't even have the rights to call it that. They probably just said, fuck it, let's say it. Let's put it on there, call it as is. I didn't even think there was any marketing for it now that I think about it. So that goes to show how much they cared on that game. Now, why am I making this episode? Because 7 games this year had to have statements released. 7 games. And if you don't believe me, I'll put off the list for you. And this is the past, not past year, past 5-6 years. Horizon Zero Dawn's PC port, that was one of them. Last of Us Part 1, PC port, that was 2. Redfall, whatever the Microsoft game was, that was a vampire one. I think it's called Redfall. That's 3. Cyberpunk, I believe, if I didn't say it, 4. Star Wars Jedi Order, got Autumn. And there's one more I think on top of my head. Let me think. Yeah, I can't think of it. I'll come back to it. There might have been just 6. I'm sorry. But, yes, that's where we're at in the state of gaming. To the point where they're going to brush... Oh, the 7th one was Hogwarts Legacy. They delayed the PS4 release or Nintendo Switch release back in November. At least on the bright side, they are putting time and effort in making it good. Props to them. Good on you, Avalanche Games. You know that if you need more time, you will take more time. That's never a bad thing. I even said that in my game delays of the video podcast episode. I said it multiple times, and I will constantly say it. If you have to get a delayed game, a delayed game will always be good. A rushed game will always be bad. If you don't live by those words, game developers, that's not a good thing. Cyberpunk 2077 was rushed out of the gate by publishers. And if you don't believe that, you're lying to yourselves. Wake up. Hell, you can argue that a lot of other games, like Days Gone, which felt kind of empty. I know it's a good game, but the ending was okay. It's like, alright, that's an ending. Now, where's the second one? It's been all this time. We're 3 years into the PS5 cycle. We still haven't had a second one. We don't have a second one in sight. Sly Cooper. I'm going to go back to this little train. Sly Cooper 4. That ending didn't get resolved yet. I've been waiting 10 years, as of now, to get a resolution. I am waiting. I'm convinced it will happen one day. But as of now, it won't. It goes to show that game developers need to be held accountable. You cannot start a story, end it on a cliffhanger, and just and abandon it. You can't do that. That is absurd that they're willing to do that. Why are you letting them do that? You want to talk about the way that they did it right? Let's go to Hogwarts Legacy one last time. I promise I'm not talking about it. Hogwarts Legacy did it right. They said, hey, we need more time. We care about this game. They delayed it. They delayed it twice. And good on them. Because when they delayed it twice, and it finally came out on PS5, the game was incredible. I will live by that sword and die by that sword. If that does not get Game of the Year nomination, I'd be shocked. Now, they did it again with Nintendo Switch. Got delayed back to the Q4. I think I said November, but let's just go Q4 of 2023. So, in recap, these game developers need to be held accountable. Because if they're not, we're going to get shit games for the next 10 to 20 years. Hell, PlayStation already patented PS6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We're going to be here for a while. Video games are going to be here for a test of time. There will never be another video game crash. And Microsoft might even be in trouble, but that's a different conversation for another day. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. My name is Jacob, as always, and thank you for listening to the Epileptic Gaming Podcast. I will see you in the next podcast episode. Bye-bye.